All right. Is this better? Yeah, is this better, Rod? Test. I don't. Did I get rid of the echo? Okay, good. Excellent. Well, still waiting for my guest to show up. Here's hoping he does. I was hoping he'd get on a few minutes early. Even if he doesn't, we can still talk about this stuff. Yeah, looks like my mic was unplugged. It was not working. I had a separate microphone. It's supposed to be a good one, but for some reason it wouldn't integrate with my phone. So I don't know what the scoop was with that. I'll figure it out later. Well, we got in here. I know we got Rod. Rod, thanks for joining. Folks, feel free to sound off here. Let me know who you are. Or don't. Says we got 4 people watching. Yeah. I know my guest had a birthday party to go to. His son's birthday, so he may be running a little bit late. The Fishless Fisherman, how's it going, brother? I was telling Rod here, my guest has not arrived yet. He had his son's birthday party. He was supposed to be free by now, but he may be running over schedule on that. Yeah, I don't know. Well, the one I had hooked up separate mic just had me muted. I couldn't, because I'm actually doing the live stream on my phone, and I had the microphone hooked up to my computer, and it said it was fine, but it wasn't coming through on the live stream. And then when I went to my microphone on the phone, then yeah, it got all psychedelic and echoey. And I see Stacy made it in. Awesome. James Payton is here. Raunchy James. There you go, guys. That's the one that song was about. I ought to go ahead and add that and play it, because I put a whole song to it and made a video. If you guys knew Raunchy James, you would understand. Definitely would understand. And like I said, Stacy and Rod with their big old catfish. We gotta get Stacy in here too. He's got some dandy catfish we could be showing. I may have to wing this. I had some good questions ready to go. This guy, if he makes it in here, and I hope he does, he's a brand ambassador for Crappie Magnet and for B&M Fishing. And I mean, he's got some dandy catches. He's a tournament fisherman. Does pretty well. Him and his partner, they land some big old fish, some big old crappie. You know, that's right up my alley. I know it's after. I know James does it too. Raunchy James. Just might as well change his name to Raunchy James. Says I've got. Let me see what's going on. Maybe he's. Nope, he's not waiting. Okay. Because it says I got one guest, and that just must be me. Hey, get off my screen. No, I can't get it to go away. Oh well. Well, come on. It won't go away. Come on. There we go. Of course, muted my mic. There we go. Okay. Jim, I haven't really gotten out to fish much at all. James, Raunchy James there, he's been out on Lemon a few times, and he's been finding some good stuff out there. I've been a little jealous, but I've been kind of busy with other stuff. But, you know, like I said, James has been out there on Lemon doing pretty well. He's finally getting his fishing legs back under him. I got to get out there. He's going to start bragging and holding it over me. And we can't have that. He already using the Crappie King when he's on Instagram or TikTok. So maybe James will give you some tidbits on Lemon. He's actually been helping me with my boat. So him and Jeremiah, his son, they rebuilt my water pump. We're pretty sure they found the leak and fixed that. And oh gosh, there are so many other things. Now I got 4 new boat seats coming. 2 of them I can handle, but the 2 that boat down to the deck, I may need their help. Otherwise, I'll end up with big old holes in my boat. He's gonna fix my gas gauge too. It's good to have a friend that's a boat mechanic. If you guys can make a friend that's a boat mechanic, I suggest doing it. I'm learning all sorts of stuff that I didn't know I was supposed to do all the time with the boat, and I'm lucky it's still running. James and his son are kind of babying along for me. Yeah, and 10 minutes late, I don't know. Yeah, James, I thought you must be busy. I tried to call you a couple of times. And after it kept going to your voicemail, I decided you must be out somewhere on the lake. I didn't know if you were fishing or working, but I figured it was one or the other. Well, let's talk about dates, I guess. Maybe I should get one of you guys to join me until he shows up, or because he's not showing up. Wild Hook, my man. All right, which one of you guys want to be in my live stream? I need a replacement. All right, well, don't everybody volunteer at once. I understand. Yeah, I think. I don't know what to do here. I've never planned for what happens if somebody doesn't show up. How you vote for Stacy, Rod? I don't know if Stacy's busy or not. Stacy, are you busy? I have James on here, but man, I don't know if you guys are ready to hear the things he's got to say. Well, Stacy, I mean, I can invite you if you want to be in here. Then if Bobby shows up, we can add him too. Oh, you're at work. Okay, well, you can't do it. The guest was supposed to be Bobby McWhorter with McWhorter Fishing. He's a brand ambassador for B&M Fishing and for Crappie Magnet, and he fishes a lot of tournaments. I think when I've seen the tournaments he's been in the pro division. Good guy. I mean, all around family man. You know, every time I turn around when whatever season's in, he's posting pictures of ducks and turkeys and fish and got everything that walks or crawls. You know, he's not a YouTuber. I had to really work to try to find some clips of the fish he catches. I mean, he's got pictures, and he's got a few clips. And last week, or maybe not a week ago, he posted a picture of his son's pictures of his son's first 2+ pounder crappie. I think it was like 2.5 pounds. His kid looks like he might be 7 or 8 years old. I had to tell him, I was like, dude, I still get excited about 2-pounders when I can catch them. Been a while, actually. You know, I should have asked him about videos of his weigh-ins. You're right, that would have been fun. I don't see him online at all. I'm looking on Facebook. This would be a lot less entertaining than it would have been. All right, why don't you guys step up here? Come on. Who wants to join in? I'm not very funny without somebody to make fun of. I just love the way you guys all jump in here to save me. You're going to leave me wiggling around like this. All right, well, let's talk about some lures. What are you guys using right now? What's working? And on what kind of fish? Now I have to keep glancing at my screen to see what's going on. Yeah, Rod, that's okay, man. I've had you on. You were a great guest. So was Adrian. But either one of you could come back if you wanted. But Adrian just got off work and you can't. So I don't know why you can't, but I understand. Stacy's at work, so he can't. All right, Raunchy James, you want in here, buddy? Oh, slow. What were you using for bait? What were the lake conditions? Hey, James, you want to join my live stream so I have somebody to bail me out here? Bobby has not even shown up on Facebook to accept the invite. I sent it like 45 minutes ago. You know what, James? I'm going to send you a link anyways, what I'm going to do. And you can either accept it or not. Well, you're not on Facebook, so I'm going to text it to you. Let's see. There's Jeremiah. There's James. James, I just regular text. I just texted you a link to jump in here so somebody can be funny besides me. Brush pile jigs, Rod, that's all you're allowed to use. At least in your videos. You do well with them, though. Yeah, if James will come on here, I will play his Raunchy James video. Yeah, Jim, I've had a lot of good luck with the black and chartreuse, not just the minnows from Crappie Magnet, but also had a lot of luck with the curly tails. But lately, when it comes to Crappie Magnet, I've really been hung up on those glow pops. Those things are just fantastic. And also, because it's got my name on, I've been using a Hoosier Crappie Buster a lot. Man, I have landed a lot of fish with that. And we're gonna, the way the weather's been going, we're gonna be in our pre-spawn here fairly soon. The black crappie may already be into it. I was reading actually on a B&M article that Robert posted that was saying that I didn't realize this as much as I crappie fish. Black crappie start spawning earlier than white crappie. Black crappie will start to spawn in like when the water temp hits 50 degrees. White crappie wait till 60. You found a glow pop, Stacy? You mean somebody threw it away and you found it, or you found them and bought them? Oh, there's James. My man. Everybody, there's my best friend. I don't know if I'm his best friend, but he's mine. Just got to get him to make some noise. James, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, you can't hear you.
Hold on.
That's a little bit better. You're mumbling, but it's a little better.
Can you hear me?
You probably got to look in the StreamYard settings and turn your mic up.
Hold on. Hello?
Well, he's figuring that out. I'm going to go ahead and add this. You can hear him, Stacy? Oh, okay, hold on. If you guys can hear him, then it's just on my end. Because you know what? That's what it is. Okay. Why does that keep getting turned down?
Hello?
Hold on, I've got to get my speaker on is what I got to do. Try it now.
You there?
Well, for whatever. Wait a minute. Okay, now talk.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you now. Yes, sir. That was on my end, not yours. I've muted everything on my phone.
All right. Yeah, I looked around. I couldn't figure out what was going on.
Yeah, that wasn't back on you. That was back on me. Let's see.
Hold
to where is it? Nope. Gotta find this video. I made a whole video out of it. Let's see. There we go. Oh, too large. Video's too large. What in the world? It can't be very much too large.
What? Yeah, I'm on.
Yep,
He got me on here. McWhorter didn't show up.
Oh,
Yeah. He may be on a fire run or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, his son had a birthday party, and that's the only thing. Maybe it ran over.
Yeah.
he has it on order.
Huh?
He has it ordered.
Where'd you go, James?
What's up?
You just appeared from the screen.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this.
He said it'd be here for 2.
All right, there.
You got it?
You hear me now?
Yep.
All right, that's good.
I could hear you anyway.
Do what?
I was able to hear you anyway.
All right. It was echoing because I think I was on YouTube and Facebook or something.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And I couldn't hardly hear. It was like delayed.
I'm trying to figure out how I can.
Yeah. He said it'd be here between April 1st to April 3rd.
Still don't have any video of you.
I don't know why.
That's weird.
Let's see, Stacy. The bite was so light here, the line wouldn't even move. Well,
No
that
camera.
must be like you weren't getting any bites. But
What are you
that's
looking for?
No, nothing. Just trying to figure out how to do this.
No.
Look out. I'm wondering. I'm not sure what I need to do.
Well, you don't know why I don't video. If you want to leave, I can re-invite you and see if that fixes it.
All right, it don't matter. That's fine. What I do? How do I do? Just hit stop. 1 minute. Stop my cam. No. Let's see, cam. Hold on. That's what it is. Hold on. That's what. Hold on. Cam is off. There you go.
Are you back on there? There you are.
Yeah, I
Hey,
got
you
it.
got some light?
Yeah.
Have you got some light somewhere you can?
Yeah, hold on. Maybe turn that light on.
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
All right.
We're there. We figured it out.
That's weird that McWhorter thing.
I don't know. I mean, there could always be something that just, got confused in the process.
Yeah.
But
He is a fireman, so I mean, he could have had a fire call or something.
like I said, the thing about it is tonight he had his son's birthday party, so that's all I can really think it might have happened.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about?
Well, I've been talking about lures, or trying to.
We've been catching all of our fish on Caps and Coleman's spider rigging, double minnow rigs.
Um, I'm trying to get this video trimmed down, but it's not. It shouldn't be. Oh well, it is what it is. I'm not gonna worry about it. I've got a video up on YouTube, so you guys can watch it there.
Yeah, we've been catching all of our fish on Caps and Coleman rigs, spider rigging on double minnow rigs.
Well, I'd tell you guys what I've been using, but I've not been fishing. I keep having other stuff to do. James and Jeremiah keep inviting me, and I have to keep not going.
Yeah,
I want to, but they've been fighting a lot of wind too. They've been really having to put the work in when they're out there. James just about can't walk when he gets off the boat, so the wind's been so strong.
it wears me out.
Well, yeah, that's what happens as we get older.
Oh yeah.
Fortunately, you have a Jeremiah out there to help you out.
Yeah, I couldn't do it if it wasn't for him.
All you guys will wish you had a Jeremiah if you ever watched all the work he puts in when he's on the boat. He just gets up and starts doing stuff, whether it's setting up navigation lights or getting out rod and reels and lures. And he does catch some fish too. For only being able to use one arm, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, he's very good. He's a good helper.
I can't imagine if I can only use my left arm. I can't imagine all the stuff I wouldn't be able to do anymore. I just don't know how I'd get by. I'd have to get me a Jeremiah.
There you go.
That's one way to earn some extra money, James. You could bring him out for help.
No, that ain't happening.
Then you wouldn't be able to get your stuff done.
Exactly. Yeah,
So,
he does all the bending and moving. Well, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, well, I feel you there too. It's just part of getting older and having not stayed in shape my whole life. Well, I mean, I got into shape, but it was in the shape of a circle. Kind of shape I got into.
Oh yeah.
So if anybody go ahead, James.
Oh, I said, well, we could talk about where these fish have been moving around.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, me and Maya went out about 2 weeks ago, and anyhow, we started out. It was really windy. It was before that last really bad storm, and anyhow, we were kind of spider rigging a little bit, and we figured out the fish were right on the edge of the channel coming down toward the east end, and the fish were in about 18 to 20 foot of water, and they were only 4 foot deep. And we sit in there and we ended up catching 50 that were between 11 to 15 inches. So me and Maya had a really good day that day.
Yeah, Robert's trying to get in here, so we'll see if I've sent him the link. Just got to wait and see if it works for him. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty intuitive, but if you've never done it before, but if I can figure it out, I figure anybody can.
Well, if I can figure it out, I'm very anti-tacky. So
Yeah, but you can work on everything else.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
trade you skills. I'd trade you skill sets in a heartbeat.
I don't know. I'm pretty good at mechanical stuff, but I ain't too good at this techie stuff.
No, but you figured it out.
Yep.
You figured it out with very little problem, really. They were. Oh, they were on. Okay, Stacy, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm really wanting to figure out these crappie magnet ruse. That's one of the things I was hoping to talk to Bobby about because he uses all their stuff. Concept, but I've not had much luck with them so far.
I've been watching a lot of videos with Tom Hankins fishing with them. He does really good at Monroe with them.
Yeah, that's again. I want to learn them. I bought a bunch of them when they became available. Oh, there's Bobby. Let me get him in here with us.
Man, that was a process.
There's Bobby. Hey, Bobby, how's it going?
It's going. That was a process, man. I had to download all kinds of stuff on my phone. It wouldn't let me do it.
Oh, that's odd. Well, Bobby, I've got James Payton in here with me too. I don't know if you guys know each other on Facebook.
Yeah, we're friends. I think we're friends.
Yeah, we're friends.
We're
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, him and Jeremiah.
Bobby,
Do what?
I asked Bobby how the birthday party went.
Oh yeah, it was pretty good. A lot of basketball.
How old is he?
Yeah. Landon wanted to rent a basketball court, and so we did that for 2 hours and had all of his friends out and played some pickup basketball. So
That's actually a great idea for a birthday party. Let all the kids get worn out so they go to sleep when they get home.
exactly.
How old is he?
For sure. So I apologize, I'm late. But yeah, trying to get that hooked up on my phone was more intuitive.
Well, we're glad you made it in. James was filling in as comedy relief, but we didn't even get into the comedy. James usually good for a laugh. How old did your son turn?
What's that?
How old did your son turn? How old is he?
Landon is 13.
And that is okay. 13. Is he the one that landed that 2.5 pounder?
Yeah.
Well, it was about 2.5, wasn't it?
256.
256. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
That was a dandy.
That is a dandy.
Yeah, we need to get you guys out.
Hey, bud.
I mean, listen, I love to fish, but those 2.5 pounders don't come along every day. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
So, guys, we got Bobby McWhorter with us now. He's a brand ambassador for B&M and for Crappie Magnet, and does a lot of tourney fishing. Bobby, would you consider yourself a pro fisherman?
He really is.
I mean, I am fishing the pro Crappie USA and NCL, so I guess technically, yeah, pro, but I am learning. I am definitely learning. So
We all are.
yeah, I think I'm also a career firefighter, and I was told day one that the day that you stop learning is the day that you need to retire. So I apply that in crappie fishing as well. So
Well, you can apply to a lot of things in life. I got a family full of police officers, right? All the way from detectives and lieutenants, and my brother's a chief.
yeah.
And I would say it probably works the same for them. If you stop learning, you might end up dead.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and that's one I've always said. The reason I don't give police grief if I get pulled over isn't because I'm happy to get pulled over. It's because I know they may very well die in the line of duty that night or save somebody's life.
Yep.
I don't like being pulled over, but that's why I cut them the slack and be polite.
Yep. You
I
are
think it's the same thing with firefighters. Everything's about protecting people.
Yep, for sure.
So, Bobby, one of the things I wanted to get into, and I was talking about it right before you got in here, was how much have you used the ruse?
I've used them quite a bit, actually. Not normally this time of year. It's not one of my baits for the springtime. But it's one of those baits that I use when the fish get finicky. It's a different profile. If you pair it with the eye hole jig, you can double scent it, right? You can put the scent in the eye hole, and then you can also put the scent in the rue. So I think it definitely applies in that aspect of when you have finicky fish. like that summer pattern, right, where it's hard to get those fish to really commit, or the water's clear. It's a different profile that they've never seen before, and then the added scent to it, I think, where it excels.
So for the first time ever, I bought a spider rig setup. I've never spider rigged. James keeps talking about it. I finally bought one. I was wondering if those roos would be good for using on a spider rig because they're going to drop down and stay in place.
Yeah.
Think those
Yep.
work with spider rig? 'Cause
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
use live bait. I never use live bait.
yeah, absolutely. Those will. And then if you want to pair it up with a different profile and see what those fish are, you run double rigs on one pole. You know what I mean, for spider rigging.
Yeah, that's why James is spider rigging. This last he laid into some good ones on one of these last 2 trips spider rigging.
Yeah. So if you want another one, is that slab curly, man? That slab curly. Yeah, you put one of those on the top or bottom and flip your profiles and let the fish tell you what they want to eat.
There's an idea. Yeah, there's definitely an idea. Like I said, I've bought a bunch of them, and I've just not had much luck with them. And I'm like, there's something, I'm missing something here, and maybe it's just because I need to let them set. And I'm so used to I do have a really super slow retrieve, but I've not had much luck with the roos.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the concept behind them.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and like I said, I know James was running double rigs when they were out. Like I said, they laid into some really nice, the eating crappie, not the trophies, but the really good ones to clean and fry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
We were using live bait though. We're using Caps and Coleman rigs, double rigs.
Mm-hmm.
And the fish a couple weeks ago got warm, and the water was almost 50 degrees, and they were starting to come and stage a little bit. And then that front come through and blew them back out in deeper water.
Yeah.
So,
well, you guys seen that video that I had, right?
I haven't played them yet. Which video?
The one of Landon catching that.
yeah, I seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't usually put people's kids in here because you don't know who might be watching.
Yeah, but you look at that water depth, is 5 foot or less.
Right.
Right. Five
So,
foot
and
or less.
you posted a link to an article recently, and I was telling you guys I've read it. I did not know that black crappie spawned before white, and I've caught thousands upon thousands of crappie.
Yeah.
And I just did not know that they were separate or spawning patterns.
How do you get out of that?
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you concur with that article?
How do I get up for that?
Yeah. The black crappie definitely spawn first. They're the ones that go to the bank first. They want like that 55, 52, 55-ish to 60-degree water temperature. And then those bigger whites and those white crappie will want at that 60 plus degrees for sure.
Like I said, I'd never known that. And last year, I felt like spawn just kind of. I didn't think spawn was all that great last year. I'm hoping for a much better one this year.
Well, to be honest with you, our lakes around here, no one cares about the fish spawn, right? So,
Really?
None of the DNR offices do. As soon as the water gets up to where those fish can actually have a protected spawn, those fish go up and they go in the bushes, and then 3 days later they immediately drop the water. What do you think happens to all those eggs?
Okay.
Blackbirds.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And so, you go back the last 3 years and look at the history for the spring, and even right now, the water's 3.5 foot over on Monroe. Those fish are not spawning, but those fish move up with the water. So when water goes up, the bait goes up. That water temperature in that shallow water is going to get warmer, right, this time of year, because it's going to heat up faster. And so that's where the bait's going to go, and then those fish are going to go shallow too. And, you go back and look at all of my live scope footage and stuff that I posted, there are not very many times where I'm fishing over 8 or 9 foot of water.
Well, there you go, folks. There's some good information. When the water goes up, the bait goes up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where those fish are going. Those fish are going to go up with the water level. And we've seen it time and time again in tournaments. Even if the water goes up 6 inches, those fish feel that pressure come off of them, and they go up, and you can have them patterned to a T. Like, let's say they're on the edge of the creek channel, and the night before your tournament comes in and it rains, really, really hard and that water comes up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches, those fish will move. They'll move and they'll go up on the shallow flats next to that creek channel and they'll start chasing that bait because that bait leaves.
Information. I mean, I just go out and look for the fish and then catch them. I don't have a lot of science behind it, but now I will.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've put together over the last couple of years. I think that's one of the biggest things. And as a tournament angler, you really got to let the fish tell you where they're at.
So I'm curious, as a tournament fisherman, do you ever just go out and fish to bring home and eat?
Yeah, I do. Not normally this time of year because, you know, everybody says forward facing sonar, right, is killing our fisheries and stuff like that. But to me, you know, I think a lot of guys that know how they're using forward facing sonar and they pick and choose what they want to keep, or they even throw bigger fish back. You know, they go out to your local fishery and it's not hard anymore to go and catch 9 and 10 inch eaters and you fill your live well up. And if you want to catch a trophy fish, go catch a trophy fish and let her go. You know what I mean?
Something James and I have talked about a lot with live scope is which ones we keep, which ones we throw back. And yeah, you get up, honestly, anything like 13 inches above, I'll usually toss back. I toss most of them back anyway, because with the filming and YouTube and all the editing, I don't feel like bringing them home and cleaning them. But
yeah,
when I am keeping them, those 13 inches or more, I want the genetics back in the water, even if it's just for a couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, like James said, the big ones don't taste as good anyway.
No, I like
Yeah.
them. 11 inches is about as big as I keep for the most part.
Yeah, that's exactly what. And I'm not a big fish eater. I'm really not. You know, I eat fish maybe 3 times a year. And so it's just not it's just not one of my I have to have it every weekend. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, during COVID, me and Jeremiah put up almost 300 pounds of crappie fillets.
yeah, there you go.
I will say this, Jeremiah, for only being able to use his left arm, that boy can shovel crappie in his mouth faster than anybody you ever seen. James tells a story that when Jeremiah was little and they go out and catch fish, Jeremiah looked at fish and say, "Fish, we're going to go home and my dad's going to cut you up and you're going in my belly."
That's awesome.
He's got a dog too that he throws the smaller crappie to when he's in the boat. And this dog starts at the head and just works him over.
Yeah.
Yeah, our chocolate lab he'll eat about, I don't know, 7 or 8 crappie.
At the most, he's ever ate with 30.
Yeah, he ate 30 one day.
Oh,
Whole fish.
Oh my.
Well, fortunately, Lake Lemon is not short on those small fish.
No.
It's populated with them.
No.
That's why I keep telling people in my videos, if you're on this lake, keep those 8.5, 9 inches. We got so many of them, they need to be thinned. They're going to stunt the growth, and I think they have.
Yeah. And you know,
8.5 inches if it's thick.
Yeah, I've even talked to a couple of our fish biologists around our lakes here, and you know, it's been a long time since they done a survey, right? It's been multiple years since they did a survey, and they don't have the manpower to do it.
I think the last survey for Lemon was in 2017.
Yeah, and I think Monroe was even before that.
Yep.
But what we're learning now with live scope and where these fish normally stay all year long aren't, you know, their highways may not be the main creek channel. It may be a ditch off of that main creek channel, and that's what they're traveling back and forth, right? And so they're not putting the nets that they use in the right spots to get an accurate count of what our fish populations truly are, or even the big size of them. Because a couple of the fish biologists that follow my page or a few of the other fishing pages, they see these monster crappies coming out of Monroe and even the big ones out of Lake Lemon, and they're like, we never see this. Our fisheries aren't this healthy. Like, and I'm like, are you kidding? Like,
yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, come out on the boat with me and we'll put 50 in the live well and you can take all the DNA samples you want to.
Yep.
You know, and
see, Robert, I don't want to go out on a boat with you though. I want you to come out on my boat so all the free electronic advice I can get.
Hey, hey, I'm all about helping people. My phone and my business card, I posted it. It's open for any questions that everybody has. So
yeah, so anybody that you guys, you know, wouldn't know this, but Bobby also is an expert on boat electronics. So,
Yeah.
I believe you do that for money, right? You get some one of your businesses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I know just about enough. I know enough about my live scope that I can fish piles.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't watch my live scope closely either. James and I are different. He studies the screen. I find a pile of fish, and that's about the extent of my live scope usage. After that, I throw it in there and kind of just wait to feel the tug. I don't ever want to lose that instinct.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a question. Do you guys on both of your screens, do you feel like there's a delay in it? Like you
Well,
can feel the bite before you see the fish eat it on the screen?
There is a delay.
Do you
But
guys
we're-
run filters on your screen? So the TVG, the noise reject, or
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I've got the older. We both got 9 inches. I mean, I've got two 9-inch ones on my boat, and anyhow, we've got the older ones, and I still use a 32. I don't even use a 34. So, and I like it. So,
Yep. But if you take those filters off and then change your settings,
yeah.
your screen processing will be faster and that delay will go away.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That
Yeah.
TVG is called time variance gain, right?
Yeah.
So what it does is it locks your picture on the screen as a delay to grab that picture and capture it a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So it slows that image down just enough for you to capture that good picture. And that's why you're seeing that delay with the fish eating your bait, or you feel it before you see the fish actually move towards it on the screen.
Well, that's why I'm missing them on the screen, then, ain't it?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
I do it a lot.
That man, when he sets a hook, man, he's acting like he's trying to catch a shark.
Yeah.
Where I don't really set the hook, I let the crappie do it for me.
I have a
James,
question.
man, he lays into him.
I have a question for both you guys. So something, and this is just my personal opinion with watching it on my screen and just fishing, is sometimes you feel the thump, right? And you set the hook and there's nothing there, right?
Yep.
With the way that we're fishing nowadays and weights and stuff above your hook so you can see it on the screen better and all that, I think that thump that we're actually feeling is that fish spitting that bait back out.
That's
That very well could be, but you see, I don't use any weights over my hook.
Yeah.
So when I feel a thump, I've got a fish.
Yeah, gotcha.
I do both.
Like I said, my method has always been a super slow retrieval. And so a lot of times just suddenly there's a fish on the line.
Mm-hmm.
And all I do is just pick up the speed of my retrieval a little bit to make sure the hook is set. And it has worked very well. Because their mouths are so thin anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe I'd have to make that adjustment if I start using weights and stuff more often.
You probably ought to.
Yeah.
What's your favorite crappie lure?
Oh, man. I'm a big original crappie magnet guy, honestly. I mean, 9 times out of 10, that's what I'm throwing. I mean, I have it right here. It's still hooked onto my rod. Just pumpkin pie.
I love the split tails, man.
Yeah, pumpkin pie, original crappie magnet with the eye hole jig. And you know, a lot of people think that you have to always put scent in the eye hole jig, and you don't. The reason why I like running the eye hole jig is because it's a bigger profile with the lighter weight, because the center's taking it out. So this is actually a 16th ounce jig, right? But it looks like an 1/8 ounce profile.
Yeah.
And
I
so,
use 16th ounce jigs, but I don't use those. I probably should try some.
So
I've had a lot of luck with the black and chartreuse. Jim Smith and I were talking about this a little bit earlier, but I got hooked on that glow pop. Man, I've caught so many fish on that thing. It became my absolute go-to as far as soft plastics go.
yeah. Would you say a lot of the times that when you're fishing Lake Lemon that the water's clear versus dirty more times than not?
No, it's dirty.
Yeah,
Oh,
lemon. I would never call lemon clean.
Okay.
Never. It's so shallow.
It's so shallow.
Okay.
Go ahead, James. You were gonna.
We fish. Well, me and Jeremiah, we fish Lemon, we fish Monroe, we fish Cataract, we fish Raccoon, and we fish Brookville. I hate Brookville except for white bass fishing. But
You said raccoon. Ugh.
I love that lake.
No.
I love it. That's one of my favorite lakes to fish. I love the black crappie in that lake up the creek. Man, there's some monsters, but I fished it for a long time. So
Yeah.
it's just, I started out fishing tournaments back in the 90s in the Crappie USA stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So with Caps and Coleman and Solomon and Walters and all those guys, I was fishing during that time.
Yeah.
And I had my boy, and anyhow, he had he had Sturge Weber, and he had to have the left side of his brain, removed. So I dealt with that for 10 years, almost longer than that. So anyhow, I kind of got out of it, but I tried to go back, and I'm too damn old now. There's no way I can't keep up. We fished with Lavelle, and we fished with the White a lot, and those guys out in Monroe, but there's just, I just no way I can do that stuff anymore. So just don't have the energy.
Yeah.
So when you get older, I've had a couple strokes, and I've got, other things, health things going on. So I do what I can. So
Yeah, it definitely it does. It takes a toll on your mind when you're out there for those 7.5 or 8 hours that you're fishing that tournament.
oh yeah, it definitely does. But you wouldn't believe the difference in, that time when we didn't have live scope and we had to go figure out where those fish were at. It was totally different.
Mm-hmm.
It's just night and day different. You didn't catch near the fish that you catch now. We had days where we caught fish, but not consistently like we do now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a big thing.
The best thing about live scope for me is it saves me time. I've always caught a lot of crappie, but it's the amount of time it takes me to find them. If I pull into a spot and they're just not there, or I see nothing but small ones, I just move on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Used to it might take you 15 minutes to figure out there's nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
Before you get up and move.
That's exactly what I told the customer today when they left my house, is that the biggest piece of advice or biggest piece of information I can give you with live scope is it makes you a more efficient fisherman.
Yeah.
Before I might go out for 6 hours. Now I can go out for 2 hours and get the same production.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, do you ever watch a YouTube channel, Intuitive Angling?
I've seen it a few times, but I don't watch it frequently.
This guy, I almost never call out other YouTubers, but this guy, man, I watch him just to watch him cry about live scope. He can't say live scope; he has to call it cheater box.
Yeah.
And dude, he's got that hound dog face, and he always talks so sad sound. I'm like, dude, are you really that bothered by live scopes? Like, you won't fish tournaments anymore, etc., because it's raining. I'm like, I'm not a bass fisherman, so I can't really make any comparisons there. But I'm like you. I think live scope has helped fisheries with the crappie because, you can pick and choose better.
Mm-hmm. The biggest thing I think that people are having a hard times coming to term with forward-facing sonar in both industries is that it's basically proving not every, but a lot of theories wrong about these bass guys in their tournaments where they've always caught fish before. Now people are going out on their own and catching big suspended females before they go spawn, and that's what's winning these tournaments. We're finding out, just like I said a little bit ago, that big crappie don't always go deep. They'll stay in 8, 9, 5, 4 foot of water or less, right, all year long.
Yep.
They don't move very far, and so back in the day in June and July, everybody would go 20 foot of water and try to find every deep brush pile they could and fish it, right? Because that's where all the fish were going to be. But live scope's proven that you can go out on a flat that's 3 foot deep on a stump in the middle of July when it's 82 degrees outside and your water temperature is 82 and they're in 3 foot of water.
Well, and James works this a lot better than I do with this live scope, and that is, you can find the channels, and the fish may not be deep, but they may be close to the channels. Live scope lets you see that.
Yeah.
So instead of fishing at 20 feet deep, you might be fishing at 7 or 8 feet deep, just a few feet off the channel itself, because they're looking for that place to hide if they need to.
Yeah.
So that all figures out for me.
Yeah, last Saturday, me and Jeremiah went out to find him, and we looked shallow. We looked everywhere, basically. But it was real windy last Saturday. We went out there, and anyhow, we ended up finding those fish in 20 foot of water, 17 foot down. That's where they moved to.
Mm-hmm.
So that was weird because a week prior, they were in, 10 foot of water, 6 foot down, 4 foot down.
Yeah.
And those fish are gone. They're not nowhere near there now.
Mm-hmm.
They've totally moved off there. They went deep after that storm, and the fronts went through it, pushed them back out deep.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, I'm gonna take just a few seconds here to show. I put a couple of pictures together. I got a few videos with Bobby, but I'm going to take a second to play. The first one, I just took a couple of pictures off Facebook and put them on there. Now I got to find out where they. There they are. Okay. So we're going to run this one. It's just a couple of pictures, but look at the size of those crappie.
Yeah.
I mean that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, okay, there we go.
That first one was the first tournament we did this year was at Pickwick in Alabama.
Is that the picture you sent me and told me not to say anything?
Yeah, no.
No.
No, that place is amazing. I mean, that 16 and a half pounds on 7 fish is what it actually took to win that. And that was no scales inflated, nothing. And we thought we had something because we had 14 and a half pounds, right?
Wow.
So you made a mistake and didn't stuff them with weights.
Yeah.
Oh, that fiasco with the walleye tournament, man. I thought they were going to kill those guys.
Yeah.
I was going, dude, it's just fish. It's just tournament. You guys don't kill them. But, man, those people were mad.
That's a living for some people, man. You don't understand.
Oh, no, I understand it. That amount of anger is not worth, it's not worth anything to me. I mean, that's just, all anger does is make you tired.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Well, they were mad. I mean, I understand it.
I mean, those guys were, I don't know how much money they stole out of that circuit that, they were making money off of. So, and those guys, suspected it and they finally caught them. So that's why they got so mad.
I just had to remove and ban Larry Lemon from watching for his comment. He asked us if we were gay much. I probably should have said, well, not very often. But instead, I just removed him. Don't need to troll like that.
Wow.
So no. Now after dealing with that, what was we going over? What's that?
I said I just now found the comment section so I could see it.
Oh, yeah, they're usually a lot more active than this. They're not chatting much tonight. They were until you got in. I guess you scared them.
I can't find it.
Oh, it's up. There's a place up there on your screen where you should be able to tap it.
Is there? I don't see it, but all right.
I mean, on my screen, I've got the StreamYard open. I've also got YouTube open so I can watch that. So that's why I kind of keep up with everything.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I got another video here. Let's have a look at this one. And this one runs 55 seconds.
Bobbers and hair jigs is all we're doing right now. That's a good one. Yeah. Another good one.
Well, there was that one.
Yeah, so that one, that's fall. So that was like November. And if you look, you can barely see anything on my screen, right? When you go to that video. And we're just targeting stumps on the edge of the creek channels with hair jigs and jigging bobbers, right? And that's where a lot of those big fish were staged, is right on the edge of that creek channel. And even with the wind blowing and stuff, you just throw that hair jig right over the top of them with that bobber. And instead of the fish being real active where they wanted to chase a bait down,
James disappeared.
Yeah, they wanted that smaller presentation and slower presentation that bobber provides, just slowly moving past that stump, and then they just attack it. And that's one of my favorite ways to fish is hair jigs and bobbers, man. I love it.
I need to use bobbers more because when I fish stumps, I end up losing more hooks than I catch fish.
Yeah.
Because I use such a slow retrieval that I'm just bound to get caught up. But that's another reason I don't set that hook on crappie, because when I do get hung up, I have a lot better chance of getting my jig back.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened with James, but all of a sudden he was gone. His phone might have died or something, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That dude, he's like, when he was younger, he was like you in the fact that all the duck hunting and everything that walked or crawled that you could eat, he was out there shooting at it. So he was very much, he's like a strange combination of hippie and redneck. Like he's very easygoing, but he's got all those. When he was like 6, man, he decided he was going to be Daniel Boone. And he left home and just lived on the land for 3 days on fish, corn, and squirrels. He was shooting with his pellet gun. For 3 days, his parents had the police out looking for him and everything else. He just decided he was going to be Daniel Boone.
Holy smokes.
And here's the thing about, he's got all these stories. You might go, yeah, right. But dude, his friends all verify this stuff.
Wow.
The dude is just a free spirit that just did what he wanted. I think he paid for it, like in terms of his parents. I think his dad had to beat him up a few times as a kid. Not beat him up, but discipline. But James kind of does what he wants.
Yeah.
I can't, but I've heard the stories and I'm just like, man, I don't know how you lived. I don't know how you made it this long. So you're also a brand ambassador. Well, let me straighten this out. What exactly is a brand ambassador? Is that the same as being sponsored, or what's the difference in terminology?
Yeah. So it pretty much is the same. An ambassador is basically like a trial period that a company will give you before you would potentially go on their pro staff.
Okay.
And there's what I'll say about B&M and Crappie Magnet is that it goes far beyond just crappie fishing. So there's a lot of guys that are ambassadors and pro staff members and stuff that they're just good people, right? They're just good people. They share fishing with children, and they do different programs, and they help the industry in more ways than just going out and catching a giant tournament bag. And that's why I love both of those companies so much, is that just the camaraderie that comes between both of them. It goes way beyond fishing.
I do that when I'm out on the lake, man. I'll see kids out fishing and they're not catching anything. I'll be like, I'll re-rig their lures. I'll give them bait, tell them where the fish are. I've had a couple of them. Their parents know me. So I'm like, yeah, hop on the boat, let your parents know. And I take them out because fishing's only fun if you're catching them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm one of those people too. I'm not secretive about fishing. I love fishing. I think it's a great way to spend your time. Stay out of trouble if you're younger and relax. And if somebody wants to know how to do that, I want to share it with them.
Yeah.
I don't want people to be unsuccessful at it, because I think it's a great way to spend your time, especially with, like, you spend it with your kids. I spend it with my granddaughter. That kid's nuts, man. She'll go out and catch 15 or 20 crappie with me in like 45 minutes, an hour and a half.
Yeah.
She's gonna be a little prodigy. It's funny because she hunches so close to the water as she's watching herself reel it up. And she's got a very natural feel for it. So I even made her a logo, like she's got her own brand. I've had her shirts, hoodies, and a water bottle. So she's got her own stuff.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I'm not a secretive fishing. I mean, I don't hide my spots. And Lake Lemon's so small.
Yeah.
When people are like, they're giving away our spots, I'm like, it's a small lake. Where do you think the secret is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you really think you're the only person that knows on a 1,700 acre lake? You think you're the only one that knows where the fish are?
Yeah.
And I've got enough spots. I can go to another one if mine is taken.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Well, if somebody else pulls up and they're asking me about fishing, I'll tell them, hey, drop your line right here. This is where they're at. I don't mind sharing a spot. Now, if they come out and do it without me mentioning it, then I might be a little upset, because I'm like, a little courtesy goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've had that happen. I've had people ask me to leave a spot because they said they've been waiting on it, but I know what's happened. They've been watching me catch fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you watch YouTube, you see a lot of videos that people are mad and there's arguments and fighting and this and that. And I'll be honest, man, as much as I fished, I really never had that as an issue.
Yeah,
I'm like, you guys got to be staging this because when I meet anglers on the water, man, they're some of the friendliest people you'll ever meet.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's your favorite B&M rod then? I've only got one. It's a 10-footer.
Yeah,
I haven't used much.
I gotta say the 18-foot black diamond, and everyone's like, you use it all the time, and I said, yeah, absolutely. Unless
I think you're nuts. 18 feet. I don't know how you use an 18-foot rod. I realize you do, but
all day long.
I can imagine getting a line out there.
Yeah, all day long. I mean, it just, it's 18 feet. You have the hook and bait in your other hand, right? And so you pitch it out there, and you're basically pitching out at 30 feet if you pitch it. So you pitch it out at 30 feet and swim that jig over the top of their head if they're in a chasing mood. And if they're not, by the time you lose the 2 or 3 feet off the nose of your boat, you're dropping on them at 14 feet, right, on your live scope, and hold their nose at 14 feet. So just because you have an 18-foot rod doesn't mean you can reach them out at 18 feet because you're back off the nose of your boat. So you use a 10-foot rod and you lose 4 feet. You got to get those fish at 6 feet. You know what I mean? So the 18-foot rod, man, I love it. It's got the weighted handle in the back. It's balanced for me. I've gotten used to it. It takes a little bit to get used to because it is such a long rod. But I've flipped a lot of big fish in the boat with the 18-foot rod, and it is just my go-to unless I'm forced to cast.
Yeah. So Jim Smith asked you here in the comments. He says he currently uses the 7-foot Sam Heaton spinning rod.
Yeah, the 7-foot Sam Heaton. Yep.
He wanted to know if B&M makes a rod similar in 8-foot.
So there's a couple 8-foot options that they have. They have an 8-foot blue diamond rod. Which
Blue diamond is really highly regarded, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. So I actually have one on the wall behind me. I'll just move the camera, but it's an 8-foot blue diamond rod right there. It's a 2-piece rod. And then we also have, this is a 7'11" 2-piece rod with a weighted handle as well. And that's like my jig and bobber rod. It has big loops or big eyes on it, so you can cast a really long way with a small jig. And that's called the B&M float and fly. So
that's what I need to look at.
Yes. And that rod, I love it. I mean, when I go bass fishing every now and then, I use it as a drop shot rod. It has so much backbone in it, and it's been around for a long, long, long time. And it's one of my go-to casting rods, and it's 7'11", so it's just shy of that 8-foot mark, but it's a great rod.
Now, see, I fish cheap. I use ugly sticks. The reason I use ugly sticks is because I've got a few rods at the bottom of Lake Lemon, and I like fishing with something that I can just go and buy another one without squeezing the wallet,
Yeah.
I've had friends, I've watched them break $400 rods on a 2.5-pound bass. I'm like, I couldn't do it. No way.
Yeah.
And but B&M's rods seem to be really reasonably priced. I bought a couple for Jeremiah and James for helping me with the project. And they were actually, I think I found them on sale for, it may have been $50 a piece for the rods.
Yeah.
So very, very reasonable as far as rods go with that quality. Like I said, I know Blue Diamond is kind of a pillar of their line.
Yep. The Blue Diamond gets up there a little bit. That 75th anniversary series, which it's just under that 8-foot mark as well. It's a casting rod. It's up there. And then obviously the 18-footer, 16-footer black diamond rods that they got. Those are going to be your more expensive rods, right? Those are the $150 rods. They're up there. I think the 75th series is like that 80 mark. But B&M offers a ton of rods that have been around for a long time that are more reasonably priced for sure.
Hey Jim, did that answer your question, buddy? I hope so. I think Bobby covered that pretty well as far as the 8-footers or 7-11. That's so 8-footish. I wouldn't even worry about the extra inch.
Yeah, for sure.
So we were talking about live scope earlier, and I've read all the controversy. What do you think? I think the bass tournaments are starting to change. They're looking at changing the rules on them.
Yeah. They did a little bit this year for some of the BFLs, I believe. I would say that there was things were getting a little bit out of hand last year with having 4 or 5 of them on your boat, right? There would be some of those pros that had 2 of them on the trolling motor and then 1 of them at their console. And while they were side imaging, they'd have a live scope mounted on the side of their console, and they'd scan for fish on that structure as they were side imaging it at the same time. And so I think there is a time that, that it could just get too much. But, I don't know, man. It's another tool. I think I wasn't around, but I think there was an argument about this too when 2D sonar come out, wasn't there?
I don't know, but think about it. Even when the flashers came out,
Yeah.
I would imagine there were people that felt like they were being priced out of competition, that felt like it was going to, it's like look, I play some games on my computer and I play online some, and it's no different to people having a better computer.
Yeah.
You have an advantage, you paid for it, but if you're going to put rules in place to stop technological advantages, then you got to erase all of them, in my opinion. You got to take them all away.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I do like, and I've always thought this as well, is that the argument was, well, the older generation that doesn't want to learn it or doesn't think they compete with it. Like, let's say James, he said he doesn't have he doesn't want to fish that long or that competitive or that hard and
Right.
keep up with it. Right. I think that some of our local clubs need to have 2 or 3 tournaments a year that is just traditional fishing. And you'd have more boats show up.
I agree, but I think a lot of the argument is they think it's hurting the fishery, and they think it's turning the bite off because the bigger fish are so used to being caught. And I'm like, if it makes a bigger fish stop biting, that's okay too, because you're keeping those big genetics in the water.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know, man, about there's more big weights this year since January that I've seen come out of Monroe than I have since I started this. Me and Landon alone the other day, we caught 1430 and 7 fish.
Wow.
On Lake Monroe here in Indiana. Right?
Yeah, Lake Monroe for many years, all anybody did was complain about the dinks.
Yeah, right. The Dead Sea. My wife's grandpa called Lake Monroe the Dead Sea.
We moved out by Lake Monroe when it was very first built. But I didn't grow up in a fishing family. My dad was a nerd. Not a bad thing. He can make a battery charger out of an egg carton, but fishing wasn't in his wheelhouse, so we didn't fish.
Yeah.
So, but in fact, I'll be honest, I didn't really get started fishing until I was like 45.
Really?
I got married. I'm not anymore, but I got married to a girl that her dad was really into bass fishing. And we went to Tennessee to their lake house there, and he got me out there crappie fishing. From the very first moment I started casting for crappie, I started catching them.
Yeah.
It was just a natural feel of some sort. And I was just hooked.
Yeah.
Not too long after that, I bought a boat, started fishing.
And the funny thing is to me is with starting this business that I did a year and a half ago was that the majority of my customers are individuals, I would say over 45, that a lot of them are retired. They've bought a new boat and they want to learn how their stuff works. And then they go out there and they see a fish eat their bait for the first time on live scope. And they're like, I love this. Like,
Right.
it makes the experience for the angler one, like we talked about earlier, efficient and more fun for them.
Well, and I like the fact that you learn a lot more about the aquatic life in the water. I mean, you see so much more
Absolutely.
that you learn about what underwater is all about.
Yep. Absolutely.
So I don't have I mean, I love my life scope, but
Yeah.
like I said, it's not that I don't catch any more fish than I did with them, because I didn't use any electronics until I got my life scope.
Mm-hmm.
I don't catch any more. I've always went out honestly, I've always went out and caught 50 or 100 crappie. It's just the way it's always been for me. But I do like now that I don't have to go out there and get this massive sunburn in the middle of summer to find them.
Yeah.
You know, I can fish less time and catch what I want.
Mm-hmm.
So I got another video here though we need to show people. Oh, which one was it? Oh, this is the one that shows you like.
His tail. Turd. What are you doing? Got him. Oh yeah.
Now that took some patience.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that gives you a prime example of a fish that really wasn't in the mood to chase, but if you held that bait in front of his nose,
If you
then
irritated him long enough.
yeah, then he was going to eat. Absolutely.
So let's see, Jim has asked another question. He wants to know what your opinion is of the Lowrance Eagle i9.
So I've messed with the Eagle i9 a little bit. It not a ton, but Lowrance, in my opinion, for like side imaging and down imaging and traditional sonar is going to be my third pick. When you pair Lowrance Active Target, I would say Active Target 1 and then Active Target 2 would be my second pick for forward-facing sonar. Mega Lives being the last.
Okay.
Humminbird is nowhere close to the Mega Live. It's just not. And I'm really not a fan of what they've made customers actually do to get the Mega Live 2, where now they have to buy a new head unit with all the Explorer units because their helixes are not compatible with it. I think that was
Which feels like a trick to make people buy more stuff.
Exactly. I feel like it was a very, very customer. I don't know. I felt like I'm all about customer service. And so for me, when you force someone to have to buy another product to get the newest version of something,
Right.
I'm just not a big fan of it. Now, on the other hand, Humminbird side imaging is bar none better than Garmin and Lowrance, in my opinion. The adjustability that you have with the Humminbird side imaging is better than Garmin and Lowrance. And then for our lakes in Indiana with a Lake Master Plus card or the VX card, those Lake Master chips are spot on with the lake.
So Lowrance is the real advantage of Lowrance is plug and play, right?
Yes. Yep.
I mean, I've never seen one or used one, but that's what I've read when I've been reading up on the forward facing stuff.
Yep. It kind of is. The active target units, they actually have like a wake up wire on them that you have to plug into the power as well. So it's like it gets tricky because it's not just positive and negative. There's a positive, a negative, and a wake up wire that you can wire in through an additional switch. And it gets kind of tricky with the wiring. But forward facing sonar, Garmin 100% all the way. If you're looking into it, invest into the Garmin. Lowrance Active Target 1 and 2 is my next for forward-facing sonar. Mega Live, obviously, my third choice for that. But for side imaging, down view, mega down view, all of that, Humminbird and mapping is the way to go, in my opinion.
Awesome. Jim, did that answer your question? While we're doing that, let me go into this last video here because people are starting to leave. I think people are starting to get ready for bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I apologize.
All
Hey
right.
guys, Bobby with McWhorter Fishing Electronics. Blake Phillips eye hole jig, black and chartreuse crappie magnet, 227. This big old girl's going back in the lake.
Nice job. Still ready. Still ready.
It was a nice job. That was a nice fish.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I mean, 227 is what you said. Nobody's going to complain about catching that.
No, not at all. Not at all. And that was another cold winter day. You could actually see how clear the water was.
Right.
Black and chartreuse is killer. It's a killer in clear water and muddy water. That's one of the go-tos for me as well. Black and chartreuse is awesome.
I'll be honest with you, Bobby. I almost never use an artificial lure that doesn't have chartreuse in it somewhere.
Yeah.
I think the contrast with the tail contrast with the body just makes for a good look for the fish. I think one or the other is going to get their attention.
Yep, absolutely.
So, but that's all the videos, and like I said, people are starting to take off. So, and I'm going to make my dinner.
Okay.
So guys, Bobby, we'll do this again sometime. Sorry you had trouble getting in.
Yeah,
but now you've done it, so it'll be easier next time.
Yeah, and I apologize for running a few minutes late there.
Right, like I told folks, I knew you had a birthday party to deal with, so I didn't know if you ran over schedule. And that James kept saying maybe you had to go put out a fire. I was like, no, you had a birthday party. I don't think he was firefighting, unless something got out of control with the cake.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do it again. Let's get on the water sometime.
That'd be awesome. Maybe next time we can get you in here with your partner Patrick.
Yeah, we could absolutely do that. Maybe while we're doing one of these Crappie USA or National Crappie League tournaments one night.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Why don't you have a YouTube setup? Are you just not into it, or?
I mean, to be honest with you, it's a lot of work, and I tried to do it a while back. Me and my friend of mine, we have one called Your Typical Day Outdoorsman, and we were filming turkey hunts and deer hunts, and I was the one editing all the videos all the time, and sitting in front of the computer for 4 hours editing a video, it just got to me. And I know I probably should do one, but
it's a lot easier if you just do the live streams when you're out on the water, because you don't have to do anything. Just set your camera up and go.
Yeah, and I've went live a few times on TikTok while I've been out. So that's been pretty easy for me too. So
I've only done a little bit of TikTok, but most of these folks in here, a lot of them have YouTube channels, and that's why I was just wondering why you hadn't done it.
Gotcha.
I didn't know if there was something about the tournaments, like you didn't want to give away techniques, or I didn't know if maybe one of your brands had something against YouTube. There could be all sorts of reasons.
Nope, it's just the time and effort. Maybe I need you to show me how to do it.
Well, I could. I don't. I'd be honest with you. I've been bummed for 3 years now because my videos don't get near the attention I want them to.
Yeah.
All I can think of is I'm not very entertaining on camera. A lot of people do a lot better, but I think I do a pretty good job with the editing.
Yeah.
I really put a lot of work into editing my long videos.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I'd definitely be willing to help you with that. I keep trying to get James to get some video footage, and I tell him, like, I'll make your videos, I'll edit them, but he gets out there and it doesn't dawn on him to set his camera up.
Yeah.
He's always got one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can help you with the editing. I've got ways that cut down on how long it takes. Like, I can usually edit a video, like I can take 3 or 4 hours worth of footage and I can edit in half an hour.
Oh wow.
I mean, that's fun to do a quick job. If I'm wanting to add extra stuff to it, it'd take just a little bit longer. But the main thing is just not to get. I mean, what I do is I screen through it real quick and just look for the catches, and then I'll just scan a little bit before and after to see if I said anything interesting.
Yeah.
But normally, I'm talking to the fish anyway. I give them names as I catch them. Because I'm out there by myself. So
Yeah.
I named the fish because I guess I'm crazy and talk to the fish. They don't talk back.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
one of them did do Beavis and Butthead voice back to me, but I made that up as I went along. So
Yeah. They'd probably be like, ow, there's a hook in my mouth.
I
Right.
think there'd probably be some of that. I'm going to still subscribe to the fact that they don't have pain receptors.
Yeah, there's part of that too. I
mean,
can.
that's why I had to go with my granddaughter when we first started fishing. She felt so bad for him. I was like, they don't feel it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also told her they didn't have brains, so she wouldn't feel bad about it. I said they don't have brains, so she was complete. First time I took her, she was 4, and we fished the bank. And that little kid, I explained to her what she needed to do, watching because I had her set up on a bobber and a small hook, and it was all about bluegill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's never caught six bluegill. Now she's an animal lover. I mean, loves animals.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't want any animal to get hurt. So I thought, because every time I go fishing, she'd ask me, Papa, did you throw them back? And I'd always say yes, and she'd always say thank you. When she caught those fish, the first one she caught was actually a real nice bluegill. It was like 8 inches or better. It was big fatty. And I said, well, we'll throw this back. She goes, no. I said, no. She goes, no. She goes, I want to take it home. I said, well, hey, these aren't the kind of fish you take home and put in an aquarium. She goes, no, I want to eat it. I said, oh, you savage. So she caught like 6 that day. I had to come home and clean them and fry them for her. I didn't let her watch me clean them. That would have been too much.
Yeah.
Now, ever since then, she's 8 now, so that was 4 years ago. And ever since then, she swears that the only fish she'll eat is bluegill.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she's caught hundreds of crappie now. So when I make crappie, I always have to tell her it's bluegill, so she'll shut up and eat it.
So she'll eat it.
But she loves it. She loves crappie too. I mean, you fry up a light fish like that. I don't care if it's bluegill or crappie. It's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah, we'll do this again. It'd be great if we get Patrick on here. Like I said, it'd be great to do like at the end of a tournament. I don't know if you'd be able to film weigh-ins. Like someone mentioned earlier, they would have liked to see some video footage of weigh-ins.
Mm-hmm.
So something like that would be really interesting for people to see because very few of us tournament fish.
Yeah.
So it'd be an interesting aspect to watch.
Okay.
We'll make something happen. I've enjoyed this, and now you know how to get into the StreamYard, so it won't be hung up next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, Bobby, thanks for being a guest, man. I've enjoyed it. I love the information, and yeah, it'd be nice to get out sometime and do some fishing. I'm always my boat is docked at Lemon. So I never get to other lakes because it's too easy to just walk out and get on my boat.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll go out on my boat. Yeah. We'll get you out on Monroe. We'll go out on my boat. And
That'd be great, man. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. Tight lines, fair fish, and hope everybody has a good weekend. Bobby, we'll see you later, bud.
have a good one.